Hello again. Yeah, I'm back again, and it's again something for this Cetus printer, and it is now about this thing. Yes, this is the heat bed. Looks like the normal print bed on the first thing, but when you turn it over, you see it's something different. So I was the lucky winner of one of these, and in the last 2 days, I tested a lot around, and I found out some interesting thing about this little thing, and I want to tell you about it and want to share my thoughts about this heatbed. It's not installed right now, so I cannot say how it will work for the printing, but that's something different. First comes first. So what you get is this heatbed and this cable. This is all you need. And now let's take a look on this heatbed. So what we found here is at first here this small little connector. This is for this cable. Then you found two bigger connectors. This is for an external power supply, because I want to say you in a minute why. And what you found out is here a big switch. This this tape I put on my own, and you found out this little thing. This is a thermal switch. That means if this heatbed reaches 100 degrees Celsius, this will switch off. So you cannot heat more than 100 degrees. That's a good thing for now, and it's a bit secure that nothing bad happens. But now what I want to tell you about these two things here. My first thought was that this and this is nearly the same. That means just these connections and these connections should be the same thing, but it isn't that way. What you have here is something about like more or less like two heat beds in one. And what does this mean? So when you look at it, you see here the little traces. These are the traces that get heat up when they are powered, when they power flowing through. And the traces that are connected with these connector are not the traces who are connected with these connectors. That means there are two pair of these traces on this heatbed. I found it out because when you measure the resistance of both of these connectors, you get like 12 ohms. When you measure these, like 10 ohms, something around this. And when I measured about the resistance between this and this connector, there wasn't any connection. There is something very funny. The thing is that this thing is just in one of these traces that's connected with these both. And this switch is just connected in traces where this connector is in. That means when you power your heatbed with this connector, you can switch it on and off with this switch. When you power it on with this connector, it has here these automatic switch off by 100 degrees. Also, you found out here is a little LED. This LED goes on just if you power it with these both connectors. Okay, this might be a little bit confusing now. I hope you understand what I say. So like I said, this is more like two heat beds in one, because you have two heaters built in this heat bed. Why is it that way? It is because they wanted you to connect these with the heatbed connector of the Cetus, with these cables. These heatbed connector of the Cetus is just more or less a power supply, connected with a power supply. There is a relay into this, and it's nearly always switched on. So if you turn on the Cetus, this heatbed gets power right on. This is why you can switch it on and off here. And since this has 12 ohms, and the power supply of the Cetus is 19 volts, that means that there goes like 1.68 amperes through this heatbed. That's not really much, and that's okay for this power supply. But with this power, this heatbed gets right a little bit about over 50 degrees. I have tested it. It was 55, 56 degrees Celsius. If you want to get it hotter than this, they already told you that you need a second power supply or an external power supply. My first thought was, okay, you just need these external power supply to get these range up, but it isn't that way, because these both posts where you put in the external power supply is a different heater than this one. Means that you can run both at the same time, and this means also that these gets hotter just with both of them, and they have no problem if these are two different power supplies, even if they are two different voltages. There's no problem. So this is for that. Let me think about what I wanted to say about this. Okay, what I want to do is, because you don't have really the good control about the heat of the bed, I want to run it through this connector here, and I won't run it only through these connectors here. What I mean, I will do a connection between these two, so they are parallel. That means that these heatbeds completely has about 6 ohms, and I will switch. I will put on here external power supply 24 voltage. That means that these get then like what was it, 3.8 amperes. That means it has something about 96 watts, and this is a nice thing then. But I won't do it just through a power supply. I'm doing something with an Arduino Nano, and I put on a thermistor on this, so I can externally completely switch on or switch off, or regulate the power, regulate the heat exactly with that thing. But for now, for the most people, it should be okay with using this at first. So what I want to show you now, I made a little terminal video. So let's see. So what you see here now is a short video. It's the ordinal time of this video was 15 minutes. Now you see it's 1.31 minutes, so it's fastened up, so you can see how it heats up in 15 minutes. On the top here you see the top heat. Okay, you already see we are at 20 seconds or something like this, 37, 38 degrees. So it started rise up very fast. And after a specific time, it's getting slower and slower by heating up, because this heatbed is now powered with 19 volts. It's not through the Cetus, it's through a different power supply, but on the Cetus it's the same, because the Cetus delivers 19 volts and this one delivers also 19 volts. So it should be the same thing on the Cetus. I have to say, it's laying on some wood, and it's not laying on some metal. Like when you put it on your Cetus right now, it would be connected with some metal that would be cooling a bit. Also, if it moves, it would cool a bit down. So this is not completely how it would be when you have it connected to your Cetus. But that's for the first test. And what I like to see is that it is a very, very nice heating up. That means the area is nearly the same temperature. You see here a bit colder, but okay, that was it already. A bit colder, but it was just one or something like 1 or 2 degrees colder, so it's not a problem. What I want to show you now is the other side, the back side. When you see the back side, this one, I don't speed up the video. Oh, wait a second, it was not what I wanted. Wait a second. This was not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So, this is now the back side. And you see here, you see very nice the traces, the single traces who are heating up. So I'm going a bit further into the video. Here you still see the traces, and here you see there's no traces, because there are no traces where you connect it to your to the Cetus. On the downside here, there are no traces. But as you see on the other side, on the front side recording, you don't see any heating difference between these parts. So you just see it on the back side. And this is caused by that this is a thick aluminium plate and not like some other heat beds, just a PCB. There you would have these differences. But on these, you don't have it. That's a very nice thing about that. So I'm going a bit more in. You see here some cold parts. This is the connector, this is the other connector, this is the switch, and this is the 100 voltage terminal switch. Okay, that should be enough for now. Okay. So, all in all, I have to say it's very nice to have these. It's a very nice thing, because it gives you a lot of different possibilities. And like I said, they said it already. It's a beta. It's beta release, so it's not completely done. And by the way, some very important thing. I just forgot about that. On this connector, with this cable, you see this cable has 10 connectors, and it's like the first 5 are 1 and the other 5 are 1 pole for the Cetus printer, and here on this. And my board had a bit of a problem, because on these things there was a short, and the problem was the short was between like 5 and like 6. That means that exactly these both pairs were shorted. Okay, that's a beta unit. I think they already all done it by hand, and just if you get it, take a look at these. When you have a multimeter, measure between these and these poles, and you should got something like 5 or 6 ohms. But just if you put that on, if you put that off, you get no connection. Yeah. and not 5 or 6 ohms, 12 ohms. You get this, 12. So, okay, that was it for the first thing. And I will show you when I'm done with my regulator for this. Like I said, I won't do this on the Cetus right now because there are some things I'm thinking about is to make something around here so it is better isolated against the printer in terms of heat. Also, I'm using these, I will connect these both connectors together so that you have just these to use. And then I'm using a MOSFET to connect these to switch these board on and to regulate these. I think it's going to the next 2 weeks or so till I am done, and then I will show you a next video or some next information, and you can see what I'm done then. Okay, thank you for this now.